There's recently been horrific accidents involving school children transport that has sent shockwaves nationwide. We have seen the death of 7 children from Vezogutle School in Imbali in Pietermaritzburg and another one in Umlazi, which left 22 children injured last Thursday. On Monday morning, 13 children were also injured when a car and a truck collided on the N3 in Alberton. And this morning, a driver and a learner died in a crash when a minibus veered off the road, colliding into a bridge. 13 learners were seriously injured, 5 of them in a critical condition. All these incidents have once again brought the transportation of children into sharp focus. We're now joined on the line by Ishmael Mnisi, who is the spokesperson for the Department of Transport, to tell us more. Ishmael, a very good afternoon to you. Thank you so much for joining us on PM News, sir.
Good afternoon and good afternoon to your listeners.
Ishmael, sad stories of school children getting killed or injured in car accident. There's been an outcry from the parents and teachers and the public that the department's failure to provide safer scholar transport might be contributing to the rise of scholar deaths. What are your views as the department on this?
Well, first and foremost, the Minister of Transport, Ms. Dipuo Peters, passes condolences to all those that passed on. And those that are injured for their speedy recovery. We are concerned as the government and as the Department of Transport regarding these escalating numbers of deaths and fatalities that we're experiencing in our roads. Look, the Minister has always emphasized the point that the types of vehicles that are used for transporting learners to schools must be dedicated transport that is used or is meant for such purposes. Well, for an example, in most of the instances that we are talking about, we have realized that LVDs are used to transport kids and parents as the people that organize such kind of transport for their kids at the end tail of the whole process. And as government and even throughout all the public education systems that we have had, the REF has done it. The RTMC is continuously engaged with schools to make sure that we educate South Africans regarding this, the means of transport that learners must use. When it comes to the organized transport systems, in various provinces, the provincial departments are tasked to organize buses that ferries learners in areas that have been identified as impoverished from one place to the other. And we have not heard most reports of accidents involving transport that has been arranged as such. But mostly the ones that we note that are a serious problem is the one that parents arrange directly for themselves and they're transporting their kids.
And Ishmael, that brings me to my next point. We know that transporting scholars in bakkies was actually outlawed after that fateful incident last year, but this practice is still going on. Any plans to enforce adherence to these transport providers? Because many parents argue that, as you said, better transport would cost them more than what they can afford.
Of course, legislatively wise, we are to amend part of the Road Traffic Management Act that allows the CEO to be able to discontinue some of the operators that continue with this practice, because we have made it very clear to them that they must not engage in activities or transport activities that they are not allowed to do. For an example, others, some of these accidents that we are talking about, when you have checked if ever the drivers or the transport itself, does it have a PDP, we only find that it does not. So it is not a dedicated transport means. People are getting into this business without following correct procedures, and this endangers the public. And hence we have asked parents to be vigilant and to check the means of transport that they organize for their kids, so that they must make sure that it is the appropriate and the registered type of a vehicle that is allowed to transport their kids. Now, in most of these instances we're talking about, that has not happened, and it remains a worrying factor, but we will, however, continue as government to make sure that we have a public public sessions where we engage the communities regarding the importance of this of the transport that is utilized by kids. But we remain worried because of the escalating trends that are taking place currently.
Thank you so much for that. That's Ishmael Mnisi, spokesperson for the Department of Transport, talking to us about plans by government to provide safer school transport in the wake of the recent accidents that involved some school children.